Vocal warm-up time. La 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 la.
Yeah, right?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is John, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards, episode 103. What is up, John?
What's up? That's, back in the podcast. That's what's up.
I know, we're back.
Back in the studio.
Back in the humidity.
Yay.
Man, it was so nice in Western New York.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
high of 78, low in the mid-50s at night, low humidity.
Look, we got home yesterday, and I went, hang out with some of my friends, and we get out of the car, and I'm like, man, this is the first time I've sweated in a week and a half.
It's like instantly you walk outside in Georgia, and you like combust.
Yeah.
You sweat for like 30 seconds, and then you stop, dehydrate, and die.
Yeah.
That's basically how it works.
Pretty much how it goes right now.
So last week we were in Western New York. That's why we didn't record. We were up there staying with the grandparents up there. Hey, Grandma. I know she's watching, so shout out. Thanks for the apple pie last week. I absolutely loved it. Did you have any apple pie?
I did have some apple pie.
Congratulations. You got to share my apple pie. I'm glad to share with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Next time
it's not like you had any shortage.
Next time we go up, I'll share again with you.
Okay.
No, we never have a shortage of food when we go up there.
No, never.
Grandma's really good about feeding us. And
I'm pretty sure I gained 3 pounds, and that's a lot for me.
It is a lot. I lost a pound, and your mom got mad at me. So not sure how that happened, but it is what it is. So, yeah, we didn't record last week. Pocono was last weekend.
So it's okay.
Congrats to Blaney on his win at Pocono.
Yep.
Not much of a race. Wasn't great. But it's typical for Pocono and the next-gen car.
Yeah.
The next-gen era.
Oh, the next gen.
Is it error or is it an error?
It's both. It's definitely an error.
I feel like it's a huge error. Like, it's stressing me out, people.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit, though.
Yeah, we had a great time in New York. I don't know. I want to say I'm glad to be back, but I'm not really.
I know. I kind of want to go back.
I could have stayed for about a month and been happy.
Yeah, I could have as well. It was so nice.
Yeah, the property up there is beautiful. I absolutely love going back to the creek. We live on Johnson's Creek up there. It's just an amazing piece of property.
Mm-hmm.
It's my happy place. Like, everybody has that one place they go to and they're just instantly happy. And Grandma and Grandpa's house is that place for me. When I'm up there, it's just hard for me to be frustrated when I'm at their house.
Yeah.
And then when I go back to the creek, it's the most peaceful place ever. I mean, I love it. Watching the sunsets out by the fire pit, watching the horses on the Amish property next door. I mean, love everything about it. It is my happy place. I mean, it's the only place we go as a family where we'll put up with sharing one room with each other if we have to, right? Just to be there. Like, we all love it. All 5 of us. Your sisters love it. You love it. Your mom. Like, it's all of our happy place. So,
yeah.
We're back from there. We're refreshed, ready to go this week.
Ready to talk about Indianapolis.
I don't know that I'm really ready to talk about it. Just FYI, pre-warning, I might complain a lot this episode.
Might?
Okay, I will. I've been complaining for 3 days now.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting Sunday.
Oh, gosh. Well, Sunday, we actually listened to the radio broadcast.
Oh, they're phenomenal.
They was top tier.
I've decided that's how I'm going to start consuming the NASCAR races, is through the radio broadcast, because, well, the radio still seems to care.
Yeah.
They like to make it interesting. They like to make it exciting. They like to make it fun. I mean, I enjoyed the whole broadcast. Even the crappy parts of the race were enjoyable on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, they did a phenomenal job, 10 out of 10. It made a boring race interesting for us.
And what was cool, we took the golf cart back to the creek.
Yep.
I took my Bluetooth speaker with us. I had it turned up, turned the radio on, put the race on. There's one time I walked away and I could hear the race in the background, and I had to kind of move back quickly because I got far away and I couldn't hear, but they sounded so exciting. I was sure something was going on, but it wasn't.
No, so
they weren't even passing. But we've talked about it with F1. Like, the broadcasters with F1 and Indy can make a non-exciting race exciting.
Yes.
And the radio did that for me.
Yep.
I'm questioning why I have YouTube TV now.
I know, right? Because, I mean, we go back, you watch the highlights, and you're like, oh, nothing happened in this race.
What's bad is NBC can't even do a good highlight reel.
No, oh my gosh, no.
They miss everything.
Talking about the highlight reels, so we watched the Xfinity race.
Great race, by the way.
Really good race. And I go back, and we're on the way home, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch the highlight reels. I go watch the Xfinity highlight reels. They don't show nothing from the past 10 laps. They show Riley Herbst passing, what was it, Custer for the lead. That was it.
Yeah,
of like the last 10 laps. And the last 10 laps were phenomenal racing.
Yeah, the last 10 laps with Herbst, Custer, and Amarillo, phenomenal.
I mean, you had Amarillo pass Custer and Herbst after they got into each other to take first. Herbst taking back the lead, Custer passing Herbst. Then you got to see none of that in the highlight reel. The highlight reel was terrible.
Do you know, fun little fact, there was more passing on the last lap of the Xfinity race than all 400 miles of the Cup race. Now I'm talking passes for the lead. There was more passes for the lead on the last lap of the Xfinity race than the whole Cup race. All 400 miles.
It's so bad.
Let's see.
So bad.
Can you guess how many passes we had during 400 miles for the lead on Sunday?
0.
That is insane to me. 0 passes for the lead.
But hey, it's a historical track, though.
I mean, it really is.
Yes.
That's not a lie.
It's not. But the racing's terrible.
It is.
Worse than it's ever been.
And the thing is, you can't blame the car. I mean, you can't blame the track because...
No, you can't blame the track. You can blame the car, though.
Oh, yeah. Saturday, we had phenomenal racing.
Yeah.
We had passing. Faster cars could go past slower cars on Saturday.
Yep.
On Sunday, cars couldn't go by cars.
No.
But,
I mean, you had Denny try and pass Suarez and someone else in the back for 10 laps and couldn't.
Yeah, and Suarez, I mean, Trackhouse has really fallen off a lot this year. I'm kind of surprised by that. But, I mean, it's crazy to me that the leader, who is in the lead because he's fast, can't pass the guy who's in last because he's slow. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's crazy. So on the way home, I actually watched the 94 inaugural Brickyard 400, and it was a great race.
The 1994 Brickyard 400 was the very first race that my dad let me watch with him on TV from start to end. I never forget it. We were at, I can't remember exactly where we were at. If we were at, he was working for a plumbing company at the time, and we were either at the office watching it, the office of that plumbing company, or we were at the owner of the plumbing company's house. But it had something to do with that family, and we all watched that race together. And I just remember my dad let me go and watch the race with him, and it was Jeff Gordon won it. It was the first time we had ever raced at Indy in a Cup car. And
Jeff Gordon's second Cup win.
Yeah, and it was just, for me, it was a memorable experience for me because I got to watch my first NASCAR race with my dad on TV, and that was a big deal. I was like, 94, I would have been 10 years old. So,
yeah, and so the big difference between the Xfinity race, the 94 race, and then the Cup race is that in the Xfinity race and the 94 race, you would have cars, you'd have the second place car was honestly at an advantage. The first the car in second place could get on the back rear quarter panel of the first place car and take the air off the spoiler and move them up the track and make the pass. You could not do that in the Cup car on Sunday.
No, I mean it.
And it, like,
we'll really dive into this more as we go, but I'm beside myself at this point on what we're getting.
You can't make this up. I mean, Indianapolis has never been a super exciting race, but there's always been passing. Like, you've always been able to make, if you were good enough and fast enough, you could always pass. But you just can't do it anymore. Anyways,
I will say I'm glad they're on the big track and not the
road course
anymore. Yeah. I do like the big track better.
Yes. I mean, like we've heard a bunch of people say, if we're going to be at Indy, let's be on the oval.
Correct. Either run the oval, call it a strategy boring race, whatever you want to call it. I'm good with that. I know to expect it going into it, so it is what it is. But don't put me on the road course and tell me it's the Brickyard. It's not.
No.
That's a road course. It's not the Brickyard. It's not the Brickyard unless you're on the main track. So
right.
I would rather have what we had Sunday than what we've had previously on that road course. So
yeah.
Before we jump into that, I want to give a shout out to Designs by Sydney. If you don't know, she makes custom hand-drawn minimalist NASCAR stickers like these.
Yep.
She's also hooked me up with a Josh Allen Buffalo Bills Mafia sticker. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here on the back of my phone.
Yep. And I got my Thank You Denny sticker.
Yep.
I got it currently on my Xbox because I had nowhere else to put it.
So thank you, Sydney, for that. We greatly appreciate those, but that's not all. She also does shirts, logos, ads, and just about anything else that you would have a need for when it comes to graphic designs. So make sure you go to designsbysydney.com. She'll be able to take care of all your personal or your business needs. I mean, I know we got listeners like Janet. She's hooked Janet up multiple times, T-shirts, stickers, things like that.
Yep.
And if you use CAR724 at checkout, you'll get $5 off your next order of $25 or more. I think Brandon actually used that code to save on the order he placed because once Alex Bowman won in Chicago, Brandon had to get his win sticker.
He did.
I hope he got it. I hope he's got it hanging up somewhere.
You got maybe 5 of them.
You have to post a picture, Brandon. Let us know what you did with that sticker once you get it. So, like I said, make sure you use CAR724 at checkout to save $5 on that. And also make sure you vote him what race was better poll that Sydney puts out every week. And when you vote on there, let us know why you voted for what you voted for and what you thought. And I'm going to read some of those responses on the show. Like this week, 80% of the votes said the Xfinity race was the best race.
Absolutely
I
agree.
100% agree. And at Samantha Ray 43 said, obviously, Xfinity puts on a show. And Saturday was no different. Happy for Riley and Stuart Haas on the 1-2-3 finish, or 1-2 finish.
Yeah,
not 1-2-3. On the 1-2 finish. So thanks, Samantha, for letting us know what you thought. Thanks again, Designs by Sydney, for putting that poll out each week. If you have any graphic design needs, Designs by Sydney, she's your girl. She'll take care of you. So check her out.
Yeah. I love my Thank You Denny sticker. Been talking about that for months.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, you've got like, 2-3 stickers, Designs by Sydney stickers on your Xbox now?
Yeah, I got 3. I got Kyle Busch, 100 wins. And then I got
Jesse
Love when he won at Talladega. And now my Thank You Denny sticker.
Really cool. So thanks, Sydney. We greatly appreciate you. Ready to jump into some racing hot takes now?
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to get this show kicked off with Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch goes on the Pat McAfee show and says Corey LaJoie is a liar, and he will be paying Corey LaJoie back for what he did at Pocono. So this stems from Corey LaJoie wrecking Kyle Busch at Pocono. He right hooked him, sent him into the wall. NASCAR didn't penalize him. You know, we're going to say this. I would say probably at least 150,000 times this episode. The only consistent thing with NASCAR is their inconsistency. So, look, Kyle and LaJoie, they obviously had a run-in.
Yep.
And LaJoie obviously spun him out. But, Kyle was pretty calm and collective after when they interviewed him after the race, which he should be.
Yeah.
Like any driver knows you're going to get a $50,000 penalty if you speak your mind right after the race.
Right. So
wait a few days. And if you go on somebody else's podcast, it's okay. You just can't go on your podcast and say it. So thankfully, Kyle don't have a podcast. But
so he's all good.
I didn't listen to Stacking Pennies. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have to cut back on some of them sometimes. Stacking Pennies is usually one I get to if I have time that week. Not having a show last week, I'll be honest, I didn't listen to a lot of podcasts. I took a break from NASCAR all week for the most part. Corey LaJoie says he didn't do anything wrong. Kyle Busch says he did. Who really knows? I know what it looked like. Yeah. It looked like hard racing, and it looked like Corey got into Kyle. Yep. Was it intentional? Who knows? The only person who truly knows that is Corey LaJoie. LaJoie says he didn't do it. Kyle says he's a liar. It sounds like a personal problem between the two of them. Honestly, I'd like to see them fight it out on pit road. Put them in a ring, give them gloves, let them fight it out.
Bring them to Kyle Busch's hauler, do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather see them fight on pit road than wreck each other on the track. So when Kyle says he'll pay LaJoie back, I mean, they both run in the back together, so I guess it's possible, but
yeah.
Kyle better do it this season because LaJoie's going to have a real crew chief next year, and he might be running up front. Kyle probably won't be.
I mean, I feel bad for Kyle.
I do. I think they need to have Kyle Busch on suicide watch at this point. I think was he DNF 6 out of the last 8 races or something?
Something like that. The dude cannot finish a race right now.
It's bad.
This is the worst stretch of his entire career.
Now, I will say it's cool to see Pat McAfee talking about NASCAR so much. I mean, he has a huge following on social media, so just the fact that he's interviewing multiple drivers this season already, and he's talking about wrecks, he's talking about retaliations, he's talking about punches thrown. I mean, he's talking about NASCAR. That's not a bad thing. But that's going to draw new eyes to the sport. But when they get here, if they see what they saw at Indy,
they're going to be really sad.
Yeah, they're going to turn around and go away.
Yeah, we're not going to have them for long.
They're going to say what I said Sunday. Why did I just waste 3.5 hours listening to this race just for NASCAR to screw it up in 3 minutes?
Yep.
So let's get it together so when we draw these new fans in. But do you think Kyle Busch pays Corey LaJoie back?
I mean, knowing Kyle Busch, yeah.
Problem is, I don't think he will. I really don't. Not now.
Not right now.
Well,
yeah.
He said he was going to do it. NASCAR's not going to forget that. If Kyle Busch goes out there and wrecks Corey LaJoie,
that's an $80,000 fine because he said he was going to. That's premeditated.
Well, it's $25,000 for talking about it on a podcast, and then $50,000 for doing it. So $75,000 fine probably.
And $5,000 because it's premeditated.
Just principle.
Just why not?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's Corey, and NASCAR and Corey are tight.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, Corey LaJoie, Kyle Larson, somebody posted Kenny Wallace posted a poll. Who's the golden boy of NASCAR, Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson? I'm pretty sure it was Kyle Larson won the vote. I think that's the wrong matchup, though. I think it should have been Kyle Larson and Corey LaJoie.
Yeah, facts.
Because Kyle Larson don't have a podcast. NASCAR never gave him a podcast.
No.
But LaJoie does. I'm just saying. I actually like Corey LaJoie. Probably one of the nicest drivers I've ever met. So I'm not going to sit here and talk crap about him because I like the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't want Janet to beat me up or Deb. So please don't beat me up, girls. I promise. I like the guy. I really do. I'm just reporting what was said this week. So, no, I do think Corey LaJoie is NASCAR's golden boy. And I mean that with respect.
Yep. They like Corey LaJoie, and then Kyle Larson's their best driver. So he's a star driver.
Chase Elliott's most popular driver. You'd think he would be the one, but I mean, I think HMS anyway, for the most part, gets special treatment, but that's just my opinion. All right, Cole Custer was announced to be going back cup racing next season with the new Haas factory team. What do you think?
I think it's good for Cole. I'm excited to see him. I mean, can't do any worse than Ryan Preece.
Actually, Cole Custer did better than Ryan Preece when he was in that car. Like, really, I mean, no offense to Ryan Preece, but I just don't see him as a Cup driver.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of these guys out there now. To me, a lot of these guys are not Cup drivers, in my opinion. I'm not a driver, so I don't know. I don't have the talent to be a Cup driver, but a lot of these other guys I don't feel do either. So it's not that they don't have the talent; they don't have the racecraft.
Right.
And that takes time to build. That's something Carson Hocevar is going to have to work on. But
yeah, and I think Cole has done a great job of building his racecraft over the past couple of years in Xfinity. I mean, he won the championship. What was last year, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm excited to see what he can do in the Cup Series again.
I am too. I think his run in the Cups. Well, you know, the other kink in the armor here is I don't know what Haas factory team will be like performance-wise. We've seen their performance struggle this year. Stuart Haas.
Yeah.
They're not going to have manufacturer support next year, depending on who their alliance is with. I mean, if everything goes as what I'm hearing, they're going to have an RFK alliance. And if that's the case, we see what that alliance has done to Rick Ware. I mean, Cody Ware finished in the teens yesterday. I mean, that's unheard of.
Right.
He finished 18th. That's unimaginable.
20. I know.
Like, wow. Cody Ware, way to go, man. Shout out. Congratulations. So maybe the alliance helps the Haas factory team. Maybe they run good. If they have decent equipment, I would expect to see Cole, 15th to 20th. Yeah. 25th, give or take, somewhere in that area. I'd aspire somewhere around those guys.
Yeah.
Maybe win on a super speedway now and then.
Yep. Full of Daniel Suarez.
With Cole Custer leaving, it's been said that Haas has offered Riley Herbst a ride in the Xfinity Series next year. And it's been rumored that they're talking to Haley Deegan about driving in the Xfinity Series next year as well.
Huh. Josh, I was thinking it was Josh Berry that was in that 15 car in the Xfinity race.
No, but wrecked out?
Yeah. I saw a comment where someone was like, yeah, it doesn't matter who's in that 15 car. They're still finishing last. I mean, he did get...
I actually agree with that. I don't think it matters who you put in that car. It's not the equipment. That's the thing. If Haley Deegan goes to the Haas factory team, I think she has a better shot than she did in that AM Racing number 15. Like, I just don't see that as that's a back marker team.
Yeah.
That's the kind of car Landon Castle drives, somebody like that. That's not something we want to see Haley Deegan in. She's got real potential.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think either one of those would be cool.
I don't think it's going to be Riley Herbst. The rumors.
You think someone else is going to take him?
Yeah, I think it all depends on how the charters roll out. Like, from everything I've heard, rumor-wise, it sounds like Riley Herbst could be going to 2311 next year.
Oh, that would be cool.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Riley Herbst. I think he's a pay-to-play kid. He's had a lot of money, family money probably supporting him. And
yeah,
that's kind of becoming what NASCAR is nowadays. It's not what it was back in the day. I mean,
not even close.
I love listening to Dale Jr. when he has the old timers on doing interviews, and they just tell all the old stories from the good old days, the glory days when innovation was running rampant. You have blue-collar, hard-working guys working on their cars and driving them. Most of these drivers now don't even know what a screwdriver is. So no offense to them. I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably like to see Herbst in the Xfinity Series for a little bit longer before he goes to Cup.
I think he's been there long enough. I just don't know that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what shakes out. I mean, Stuart Haas had 3 charters. Haas factory kept 1. Allegedly, Front Row's already got 1. So that leaves 1 open charter to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, does 2311 get it? Does Haas factory partner with RFK and RFK gets that charter? Does Trackhouse or somebody like that get that charter and SVG goes and drives it? I mean, until that charter lands wherever it's going to land, I don't think we'll have a clear enough picture to even make assumptions on who's going where next season. Like 2311 has to have a charter for Riley Herbst to go race at 2311.
Right.
Otherwise, there's no
you can't
point.
Race there. You just can't race there. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Reddick or Bubba.
No, not anytime soon, at least.
No.
Those guys have multi-year contracts. So, also NASCAR announced that they will be using the option tire from North Wilkesboro at Richmond. They're going to have 6 sets of prime tires and 3 sets of option tires. One of the option tire sets has to be used during practice, and it can be carried over into the race. So I would think they'll run 2 or 3 laps on that option tire in practice just to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Pull them off, put them up. You have 1 set of option scuffs. You'll run 2 or 3 laps in qualifying on it maybe, and then you'll save it for the race. Maybe start the race on it. I don't know how these crew chiefs are a lot smarter than me when it comes to strategy, so we'll let them do all that thinking.
And I honestly think we'll get a better feel of how this option tire plays out than we did at North Wilkesboro by letting the teams do what they want to do with it.
Oh, no doubt. And we'll see if this option tire – I mean, look, what do I think about the option tire? I am thankful NASCAR's trying something, but I think it's too little too late. I think this next-gen car has run its course.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Next-gen car sucks.
Yep.
It's garbage.
It has for the past 3 years.
When it puts on like 3 or 4 good races a season, we have 30-something races. Like, 3 or 4 is it's not good.
It's not a good number.
Yeah, I mean, once a month we have a decent race, and once every 2 or 3 months we have a great race. I mean, we've had Kansas, we've had Atlanta. I mean, I can't even. That's all that comes to my mind.
Bristol.
Well, Bristol was PP in the tire compound. Like, they don't even know why that was a good race. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Iowa was a good race.
Yeah, but it rained. Iowa was the Frankenstein track.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's always something crazy that makes it a good race. This car on its own does not put on a good race. It's not a good car tomorrow. I think we had 2 seasons with that. And NASCAR's like, okay, fans hate it, drivers hate it, sponsors hate it. Maybe we should get something new. Next gen, we've had 3 seasons. Next season will be 4 seasons. And NASCAR's like, this car's great. And we're like, no, it ain't. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. This car's great. And we're like, no, this car sucks.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You have no idea what you're seeing. You need to understand from our point of view, this car is great. And you're an idiot.
Well,
that's how I feel as a fan.
I know, right? Like, if it's so great, then why don't we see it? If it's so great, so here's a question: why do you think they're hanging on to this next-gen car? Do you think it's because it's the next-gen car?
I think because they have too much money invested into it. And Jim France, his baby's IMSA, and he's basically turning NASCAR into IMSA. Like, we already have IMSA. We don't need IMSA 2.0 over here. Like, IMSA's ratings are low because it's not great to watch on TV. It's fun in person, but nobody's flocking to watch it by the millions.
Right.
NASCAR, they do. So let's turn NASCAR into that? Like, no. Like, who's running this boat?
I know, right?
Like Grandpa Joe's out here or something. So NASCAR moves the start of the race to USA Sunday because Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. Then they move it back to NBC.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to get ready to go into overtime, so they move it back to USA because the 6 o'clock news is coming on. And they have breaking news that's already broke 3 hours earlier, but we're going to break it again at 6 o'clock on the news.
Yeah, it's frustrating. NBC is really killing them.
NBC's garbage.
NBC's killing them. At least Fox would finish the race.
Like, Fox is garbage too, but Fox is less garbage than NBC. I think the only thing NBC had going for it was Dale Jr., and now that they don't have Dale Jr., I would literally rather watch paint dry.
I don't even know if Dale Jr. could salvage this.
He did last year. That's what I'm saying. Like, Dale Jr. in the broadcast booth made it entertaining. Now that he's not there, it's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, It's sad when the standard is finishing the race on the same channel.
I don't get it. Like, I mean, luckily I had all intentions of recording the race and watching it Sunday evening when we got back to the lake house where we were staying at. But I was like, you know what? We're going to ride down the creek. I'll just listen to it on the radio. I think we watched the first couple laps on USA. Thankfully, we watched it or we would have missed the first half of the race.
Yep.
Then we turned over and just listened to it on the radio. I didn't know the whole TV channel thing was going on, but at the end of the race, I decided to flip back so we could watch the closing laps. And that's when we saw what we saw.
Right.
But, like, what I don't understand about NBC is they've got 17 screens up. I don't know which one to watch. Like,
I mean, we're over there trying to watch it, and they've got, like, this super wide, panned-out shot where the cars are about that big on a screen that's about that big, so you can't even see it.
What I don't get is, like, one of the restarts we actually watched on NBC Sunday, they're like, we're going to go to Chase Briscoe's spotter. Chase Briscoe's like 33rd. So they're going to show an in-car camera of Chase Briscoe in one square, then a camera dedicated to last place following Chase Briscoe in another square, and then in this even smaller square, it's the actual race that we care about.
Right.
And then they got this stupid thing in the background.
And then on the side of the screen, you also have the running order as well.
It's way too much crap on the TV screen. Like, I told you I was going to complain a lot this episode. We haven't even really got into Indy yet. No. 30 minutes in, and all I've complained about is everything else. But, yeah, horrible move. Thank you, NBC, for just confirming that I should cancel my YouTube TV subscription, give up on watching NASCAR on TV, listen to it on the radio.
And just wait for it to come out on YouTube.
Yeah, and then I can fast forward through it or something, because it's not like I can watch the highlight reels, because y'all figured out how to mess those up too.
Okay.
It's insanity.
How much longer do we have in NBC?
Till the end of the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Great.
We're stuck with them.
Oh, great.
We got 14 more races to go with NBC.
14? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it's unbearable. I really don't think I'm going to finish the season out on TV. I think I'm going to have to go listen to it on the radio.
Seriously.
Like, I can save $80 a month. Like, it costs me money to be this miserable watching NASCAR. So, was it a good race poll?
No.
The Jeff Gluck poll. Yesterday, I asked John, we were in the car driving home, I said, hey, what do you think? And he said 44% said yes. Well, backwards, 44% said no. 56% of you people said yes, it was a good race.
I truthfully want to know, like, what y'all saw that made y'all say, oh, this was a good race.
I think they listened to it.
You think so?
They had to, because there's no way they watched on NBC and said, this was great. I want more of this.
I know, because if I had just listened to it, never went back to watch the highlights, didn't try and watch the end of the race, I would have said, oh, it's a pretty good race.
So do you consider this a crown jewel?
Yes, only because it's at Indianapolis.
Agreed. I agree. If it was anywhere else, I wouldn't consider it a crown jewel. But
Daytona 500, Coke 600, Brickyard 400.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me, those are the three crown jewels.
Yeah.
You could throw the Bristol night race in there, or Darlington. I don't know. I mean, Darlington maybe. You know, that's a big one for me, Darlington. But that's just, I don't know. I mean, if that's the route we're going, then it's like, what, Darlington, Talladega, Bristol, Atlanta.
Right.
You know, they're all crown jewels. So
yeah, but Daytona 500,
correct.
The Coke 600,
correct.
The Brickyard 400. Those are the three. That's the big three.
And if I had to get rid of one of them, it would be the Brickyard.
Yeah.
No offense, but I don't know. Brickyard, Daytona, it's about the same thing now. I mean,
right.
Kyle Larson goes out yesterday and wins a fuel mileage race, basically.
Yep.
Brickyard Indy is no different than Daytona and Talladega in this car. This car has managed to ruin short tracks and large tracks. The only mile and a half, and only some of those are good.
Right.
For the
not
most
even
part,
all of them.
mile and a half are decent, but they're not all great. But here we go. You got from the beginning. I mean, Denny short pitted everybody in the beginning. It's fuel mileage, fuel mileage, fuel mileage. All that matters is fuel mileage at these tracks. Pocono, Indy, Daytona, Talladega. They're not even running. Denny Hamlin said on his podcast he only ran wide open 20 laps. 25 laps.
Out of 160.
It's unacceptable. That's not racing. It's
But the strategy.
The strategy might be good if the TV booth knew how to explain the strategy. I think the TV booth absolutely sucks
At explaining the strategy.
at everything. Like Rick Allen, unfortunately, is going to the Xfinity Series for the last 10 races of the season. No, just fire the guy. Just fire him. We don't need Rick.
Get rid of him.
Rick needs to go. Jeff Burton, he needs to go. I like Steve Letarte, but I think I only like Steve Letarte because of the Dale Jr. days.
Yeah.
So I enjoy listening to Steve Letarte's commentary because of Dale Jr. and his relationship and their history. I enjoy listening to his podcast because of that too. So
yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. But the other guys, bye Felicia. We don't need you no more. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Kyle Larson, congratulations. I think it's cool. You got a crown jewel. You won the race.
Yep. A little bit of redemption.
You passed a lot of people at the end. I know everybody's like, you can't pass here, but Kyle Larson could.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson could only pass because he had enough gas to pass.
Right. Because he had like a tire issue or something.
He had to get gas. He's the only one that had enough gas at the end. That's why he went. I mean, he just flew by everybody.
I know. So, I mean, I'd honestly like to see someone try that again. Another one of these fuel mileage races, or like at Daytona, have what they tried to do at Talladega, have a bunch of Gibbs cars just come in and pit, and then just try and outrun everyone by running full throttle while everyone else is running 25%.
And when we're going back to Daytona in August, let's see what happens.
Right.
I hope somebody does it. You might be able to pass them 3 times.
Because, I mean, I honestly think Kyle Larson just won like that. If we keep having these overtime finishes, I think you're going to have a real good shot. And, I mean, we do. We seem to always have an overtime finish these days. We don't ever get to finish under green anymore on the Cup Series. I think if you just, go down a lap or have a caution come out and pit and just fill up to where you have more fuel than everyone else, I think you have a real good shot at winning these fuel mileage races.
So talking about overtimes, I was going to get this a little later, but we already brought it up. Should NASCAR get rid of overtimes?
No.
I think they should. I'm to the point I'm okay with it at this point. 2 weeks ago, I wasn't.
I still don't think they should.
After Nashville, I said, no, we shouldn't. But you know what? If it's a 400-mile race, let's end it at 400 miles. Here's the problem. These idiots in the back, they like to cause cautions with 2 laps to go because it brings out a green, white checkered.
But it wasn't even.
But
it was Kyle Busch.
I know that. But usually it's Noah Gregson and, I don't know, BJ McLeod racing for 36th, and they wreck each other. I mean, it's something like that 9 times out of 10. And it brings out a caution, and here we go, green, white, checkered. And I think they do it because during that green, white, checkered, it allows them to leapfrog so many people and go from a 36th place finish to a 28th or something like that. I think these guys are strategically causing cautions with 2 laps to go. Kyle Busch, prime example, Sunday, going to finish 5th. Brad Kay is going to run out of gas. He's going to finish 5th. Might have finished 4th. Who knows? If Ryan Blaney runs out of gas. But Kyle gets overzealous and beep, 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 into the wall.
DNF.
He threw away a top 5 finish for a DNF. That's what I'm saying. Kyle Busch needs to be put on suicide watch. I'm really getting worried about the guy. There's just no way he's happy.
No.
His fans aren't. They're all in that Ryan Blaney bathtub together at this point, scrubbing each other's back, crying. It must be a big bathtub.
Yeah, for real. I'm not happy for the guy either.
I feel bad because Kyle's got a lot of talent, and I just don't think we're getting to see that showcase. He's got
100 Xfinity wins.
I think what needs to happen, Austin Dillon needs to realize he's not a good race car driver. His time in the car has passed. It's time to step out. He needs to go to the front office. Pop's getting old. So he can just put him in his chair, wheel him on out, and Austin Dillon take over the reins. Turn the team around. Kyle Busch needs to be made part owner, like Brad Keselowski was of RCR. Call it Richard Busch Racing or something. I don't know what you call it. Richard Childress Busch Racing or RCB. I don't know.
RCB.
Race car backers. I don't know. I don't know what you call it, but just
We're represented. We're represented.
Richard Busch Racing or Dick Busch Racing, something like that. I mean, just you can come up with something. Make Kyle part owner. That'll keep him there. That's what they're worried about is losing a talented driver. Keep Kyle Busch, make him part owner. Get rid of Dillon. Put all your resources into Kyle Busch. You're going to have better product on the track or a better car on the track. You got a good driver on the track. You don't need two teams. Maybe you have one full-time, one part-time. Austin Hill, make him your part-time guy. I was really, Noah Gragson would have been a good one to get over there. And maybe Noah Gragson, I'm sure, is only on a single-year deal. He's at front row. They only do one-year deals. So maybe in a year they bring Noah over. Who knows? I mean, I think something needs to change at RCR before we have to really put Kyle Busch on suicide watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not doing good. He's not doing good.
Chase Elliott and Brad Keselowski both received penalties for blend line violation.
Yeah, I mean,
after listening to DBC, action detrimental, tear down, all that, I feel like NASCAR told every driver something different, basically. But the email, whatever Bob Pockris posted said that you can go over the white line, but not on the racing surface. Look, to me, the racing surface is anything that's
over the white
concrete.
Line. Right. I mean,
you got grass and then you have racing surface.
I mean, you watch it and you're like, well, if you go over the white line, aren't you on the racing surface?
Yeah. So I think it was typical NASCAR. It was as clear as mud.
Yep.
But for me, I wouldn't have went over the white line.
No.
Like everybody else didn't. But then you got cars like, you had the 33 who was straddling the line. You had the 5 who was straddling the line. You had Brad who was straddling the line. 1, 2, 3 all together. Brad got a penalty, the other two didn't.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of stupid. If you're going to get one, you need to get them all. But
Chase Elliott was definitely a penalty.
Oh, yeah. The only consistent thing about NASCAR is their inconsistencies.
That's a fact.
And here we go again. Proving me right. Thank you, NASCAR. Somebody proves me right. So, but here we go again. We have another race in the next-gen car where nobody passes.
Yep.
You got 0 passes for the lead. You got 10 laps of 0 passing. When do we throw this car away and just start over?
I really think we just need to get rid of this. We need another car.
Chase Elliott said he needed a physics-defying button to be able to pass cars at Indy.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that, Chase. Chase was very animated Sunday.
He was. It was quite entertaining.
He used a lot of big 4-letter words that I'm not going to use on the show.
You had a lot of drivers that were animated. Blaney.
Oh, Blaney was mad about just about everything. Blaney's mad every week, though.
I don't blame him.
Blaney's the kind of guy when he puts the helmet on, he's just like...
it lets it all out.
Like an old grumpy man, just mad all the time. Then he takes the helmet off. He's like, that was a good race. I'm not even. Congratulations, Kyle Larson. I love him. He deserved that win. NASCAR should have let him jump that restart. I think that's fair. We win at the same time.
Yeah,
wink, wink.
He is the definition of bipolar.
Which is most NASCAR. Dale Jr. said when he strapped his helmet on, he blacked out. Everything changed. And I believe that.
You're in the zone.
When I watch NASCAR, everything changes. I'm no longer happy. I'm mad and frustrated. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm just over it. And Sunday might have been that breaking point for me. So Carson Hocevar proves again that he just doesn't care. That's all. He just don't care. He goes 3 wide on a track that you can barely go 2 wide on.
Yeah.
Into turn 1, causing a wreck.
Yep.
Ryan Blaney says he doesn't understand the process this guy goes through in his brain while making decisions on the track. His process making, that's what I'm saying. Like, do I think Carson Hocevar is a talented driver? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think his racecraft is where it needs to be to drive in the Cup Series? No. I think Hocevar needs to work on racecraft. And when I say racecraft, making passes at the correct time. Now, granted, in a car that you can't pass in, do you hold it against him that he actually tried to pass when he could pass?
No, not really.
That's what I'm saying. Part of me really wants to be mad at Carson Hocevar, but another part of me is like, how can I? Because he's doing what he has to do.
He sees he sees his only opportunity. He has to take it, right?
Exactly. And I'm not.
And I mean,
I'm not mad at him for it.
He is a rookie, and so I mean, you've got these other guys that maybe wouldn't have done it because they knew it was going to cause a wreck, and they're like, it doesn't matter anyway. This really isn't an opportunity. But for Carson, he sees it and he's like, there's an opening. I can't pass. I have to take it.
Yep. And, I mean, we've said that on the show a lot this year. When people make dumb moves, it's kind of NASCAR's fault. They've put them in a box they can't get out of except at moments of stupidity.
Yeah.
And that pass is not going to work 99% of the time. But there's a 1% chance it does work and Carson Hocevar moves up one spot.
And it
almost worked.
Takes it.
Yeah, I think you have to make that move. Yes, Carson Hocevar does not care what other drivers think about him. Should he? Probably not.
Well,
he's there to do a job, and his job is to win races, and it's to finish good, and he's done that. Is he an idiot? Probably. Does he need to work on his racecraft? Definitely.
Yeah.
Did he do anything wrong Sunday?
No.
Maybe. Am I mad at him?
I don't think he did.
Not at all. Would I have done it if I was in his shoes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times on NASCAR video games, it ain't funny. I'll go in the turn and never even hit the brakes. You got cars up there to bounce off of. You're okay. Right. It's great. It's good. So 2 laps to go. Kyle Busch causes a caution that sends us into overtime.
Yep.
Going into the first restart, we're already low on gas anyway.
Right. I mean,
we're stretching it. I mean, Brad Keselowski hadn't pitted in like 180 laps. He's on the first tank of gas, same tank of gas he started the race on, or something stupid like that. I think it had been 60 laps. You go 40 laps on a tank of gas. He's 60 laps. First of all, I think these crew chiefs need better calculators because they're going way farther.
Yeah, I know, right?
But when you're running at 25%, you save more gas.
So I guess you can.
Their calculations are based on 100% throttle.
Yeah.
So they need to stop that. These guys don't. These are big tracks. They're just out there cruising.
They're not running 100% throttle.
They're running 130 miles an hour. I mean, they don't need to. They're saving fuel. But going into that first overtime restart, Brad Keselowski drops off at the last second, goes down to get gas, leaving Ryan Blaney as the control car. Kyle Larson's coming up to pull beside him. I really don't think either one of them knew who was the control car at that point. Did Kyle Larson jump that restart, John?
You say yes. I say, who cares?
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point, but I do believe by the smallest fraction he jumped it. I think he jumped it, but it was so close you can't call that. I think if you call it, people are going to be mad. If you don't call it, people obviously are mad.
Yeah.
Either your NASCAR, that's one of the positions where NASCAR is between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
You call it, they're mad. You don't, they're mad. Denny said they went at the same exact time, but because Larson was pulling up beside him, Larson had a 1 mile an hour advantage on him, and which made it look like he jumped. You don't look like you jumped. You either do or you don't. I don't think there's a looking like thing here aspect, really. I do think he jumped. I don't think it mattered, though.
No.
Even if Blaney went first.
Look, Blaney could have gone first. Kyle Larson could have had the worst restart of his life, and he still would have finished first in that race. Because, I mean, I think Blaney even said it on his radio. He's like, I can't win on the outside. I can't win. What do you mean? try and hold it together. I can't win.
Yeah, I mean Blaney was very irate. I mean, what's NASCAR supposed to do? Re-rack them?
Right.
Let them re-choose? I mean, it is what it is. I think Brad Keselowski, honestly, Brad should have just stayed out and let a caution come out. Run out of gas, stacked them up, caused the caution, went and got fuel, and he'd probably finished in the top 10.
Yeah.
I mean, if we would have had our typical NASCAR calls where they call cautions when cautions happen. But because they didn't do that Sunday, Brad was better off doing what he did. But most of the time, you're better off just staying out there causing a wreck.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But yeah, so, anyways, it doesn't matter. Kyle Larson was winning that. Well, in that situation, in the way it all played out, Kyle Larson won that race because he got the inside line. It's just that's just how it went yesterday.
Well, they also wrecked going into turn 1.
But NASCAR was trying to see if he was going to move.
No. I mean, on the first restart.
Oh, yeah, on the first one, yeah.
Yeah, they wrecked going into turn 1, and they put out the red flag. But because they wrecked, it took the attention off the restart, and I think that's why they got away with it.
Yeah. But, then you got the second overtime where Ryan Preece, right?
Ryan Preece, yep.
Yep. So he wrecks going in turn 1. He hits the inside wall. He's sitting there. He's trying to get it fired up. Spins his tires.
He was out of gas.
Spins his tires a little bit. He can't move. They go through turn 1, the short chute. Turn 2, the back straightaway. Turn 3, the second short chute. Turn 4, the back straightaway. Across the finish line. Preece never moved. Not once. No caution.
We've had cautions thrown this season for guys looking at the wall.
Yeah.
Guys don't even spin out. They get slideways. Little smoke comes off the back tires. Caution. Or he goes up and barely scrubs the wall. He doesn't wreck. He don't even lose position. Caution.
Well, that instance with Kyle Busch, that one race.
Kyle Busch. We've seen it with Austin Cindric. We've seen it with Noah Gragson. I mean, NASCAR. Hit the button. Caution's out. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous how fast they throw a caution. Come to Indy, and they're out there going, "Hey, man, you see anything over there? I don't see anything going on. Ryan Preece got flat tire. He's out of gas. He's in the wall. Should we throw a caution?
No.
What do you think, Grandpa Joe? No. Throw it now. They just took the white flag. I mean, I was. You asked John. I was livid.
He was.
I was on the group text with me and Brandon and Jamie. I was texting Brandon. I'm done. I hate this sport. NASCAR race control and the TV partners have ruined NASCAR. Like, absolutely ruined it.
It's so bad.
I'm struggling. We got 14 races to go, and
14.
I'm honestly dreading it, to be honest with you. I don't know. This podcast might end after this race season. We might have to do something different. I mean, I don't know that I can keep watching NASCAR and be this let down week in and week out.
I know.
Like, I am so frustrated every weekend by the stupidity of NASCAR's race control. And then you know how it's been a bad weekend for NASCAR? When Elton Sawyer has to come on the radio on Tuesday and explain why NASCAR did such a good job.
Yeah.
When you got some overpaid guy telling me why I'm wrong, I disagree.
Yeah.
So Elton Sawyer, I printed it off. We got it right here. Just because I didn't want to get it wrong. NASCAR says their last lap caution at Indianapolis was the correct call. Elton Sawyer went on Sirius XM and said, "Now that we've had the opportunity of 24 and 48 hours to digest it, I still go back and think our race director did a really good job in how he managed that. Our goal at every event is to finish under green. That's what our goal is going into the weekend, but there are circumstances that happen on the last lap at Indy, and I'll go back to last year at Pocono, very similar situation with the same exact car, I might add, the 41.
What?
He is telling us they made the right call. Y'all sat there and watched this car not move for like 20 seconds. He's sitting there not moving. He's probably got his shoes kicked off, his helmet off, having a beer. And he's just sitting there. And you wait. You literally waited till Kyle Larson took the white flag. I knew it when he hit the wall that he wasn't going nowhere. These cars get a flat tire, they bottom out, they can't move.
Yep.
It's been a problem since, I don't know, Daytona, the first race with the next-gen piece of crap. Ever since they put this piece of crap car on the track, I've literally been frustrated, aggravated, and unhappy with NASCAR. Nothing about NASCAR makes me happy anymore. I hate this car. This next-gen car should be rolled into Texas Motor Speedway, filled with gasoline, and lit on fire. Let all 36 cars burn down, take the track with it. Nobody will miss it. Nobody cares except Elton flipping Sawyer and his goonies running NASCAR. Your race director did it. That's like saying the Secret Service protected Trump. No, your race director is garbage. Oh, I told you I was going to lose it. I knew I was going to go on a rant. I didn't want to go on a rant.
You're so close.
We're at the end of the show and I'll lose it. Like,
you're so close.
I hate it. I love NASCAR as a sport. This has been the sport I've loved my whole entire life. When I was this tall, my granddaddy would watch NASCAR. I'd sit in my pa's lap and I would watch NASCAR. We'd rewatch races from Sunday all week long just so we could digest how good it was. And Elton Sawyer's trying to tell me he's digested the Ryan Preece caution and still thinks it's a good decision. Now, the only good decision you got, Elton Sawyer, is the $1 billion TV package. That's it. You and the TV partners, you've ruined this sport. Oh, I'm fired up now. It's Wednesday, and I'm just as fired up. I'm probably more fired up on Wednesday than I was on Sunday. Man, I'm sweating over here. It's like 68 degrees in the studio, and I'm breaking a sweat. Like, why?
It sucks, man. It really does.
I mean, you're a younger fan. You're 17.
Yeah.
I'm just a 40 grouchy old man. I'm 40 years old, just complaining.
You've already made it. You've already become.
I've reached the Dell Jr. grouchy old man phase of my life now. I mean, what do you think about it? What is your take on the Ryan Preece thing?
It should have been a caution. It should have been a caution going into turn 3.
Should have been caution when he hit the wall.
It should, yes. But if they wanted to wait, like they wanted to wait for once, they wanted to wait. Turn 3, it should have been a caution. Let alone at
turn 4.
At the absolute latest, you get into turn 4, going through turn 4, and he's still not moving. You call it at the absolute latest.
I mean, you got 4 seconds between turn 4 and the start-finish line to make the call.
Right.
Re-rack them, do it again. That's all.
I don't know. It should have absolutely been a caution every day of the week. I mean, we were there watching. Like, we were watching it. We're like,
Caution.
Caution. And then the camera pans to him, not moving, caution. And then it shows Kyle Larson coming to the white flag. Where's the cut? Oh, there it is. Now that he crossed the the start-finish line, and now that we can't finish on the green anymore, now it's a caution.
What are the qualifications for race director? Breathing? I mean, that's it. Did you hire the greeter from Walmart to be your race director? I mean, I don't get it. It's like the North Wilkesboro meth ninja. Like, oh, here we go. Get him out of the woods. He's all cracked up on meth and dew. Put him up here and let him run race control.
I mean, I don't know. It was terrible call. Terrible call.
NASCAR needs to get it together. They're going to lose a fan right here. I'm going to stop watching. I keep threatening that, but I'm to that point. Like, I can't take it. I absolutely cannot stand what I see. And I'm tired of turning a race off on Sunday, being let down, being unhappy, being frustrated, being angry, being mad. Like, I'm never happy at the end of a race anymore. I can't say, wow, that was a great race. You know, on Saturday I watched Cars Tour. Friday I watched racing on Flow Racing. I turned those races off like, man, that was some good racing. That was great. That was enjoyable. I never say that at the end of a NASCAR race anymore. Like, it's sad that we're here.
Right. And
I understand sports change. Like a good friend of mine sent me a text this weekend and reminded me that all sports are rigged. NASCAR's rigged. It has to be. It's like they wanted Kyle Larson to win. as redemption for screwing him over at the Coke
look,
600.
Look. If we're going down that road,
might as well.
Rick Hendrick, he drove the pace car.
Yep.
You've got they screwed Larson over at the Coke 600.
Yep.
He didn't get to he didn't get to run good at the Indy 500, and then 1994 you had a Hendrick car win the first Brickyard 600 or 400, and now that they have a chance to have they have Rick Hendrick in the pace car, and then having a HMS car win the race at the 30-year anniversary of the Brickyard 400, just like they started.
I'm just saying, it fits. If you're wanting to throw a conspiracy out there, it fits. I mean, it almost looks like Golden Boy Kyle Larson was gifted a win.
Yeah.
Was he? Probably. It makes more – look, I would be all right. Just come out and say, you know what, we wanted Kyle Larson to win. Just say it.
Right.
Like, don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. Like, that's what I feel like happens every single weekend. Like, it's just – It's horrible. Like, you say you shove my face in manure and say, smell those flowers. They smell great. I'm like, don't they smell good? You know you like it. It's just, oh, my God. Yeah. No, I'm fired up. I mean, I'm fired up all over again. On Wednesday, I'm as fired up as I was Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I felt like Sunday I spent 3 hours listening to an enjoyable broadcast. Thank you to that. Thank you to all the guys, Doug, and all the guys on the radio. I greatly appreciate y'all giving me an enjoyable broadcast. But then NASCAR screwed all that up with their calls. Like, man. Like, race control would make Disney the most unhappy place on earth if they had the ability to. There's just, I don't know if it's diversity hires. I don't know what's going on in race control, but whoever's running it, your qualifications need to be more than breathing. I mean, are y'all hiring? I'll do Atlanta. Me and John, we'll run Atlanta for you. Be the first father-son ever race control directors. Like, I mean, we can make a whole thing out of it if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do it for free.
You don't have to pay us.
Yeah, I can screw up as bad as the guy at Indy for free. I mean, I hope you didn't pay him, because if you did, you got ripped off. You need to go ask race control for a refund, whatever you paid him, because whatever it was, you lost on that one.
Yep. Man. $1 billion
TV package, throwing it away on race control. NBC and Fox are going to want their money back if y'all keep running the sport like this.
Oh, man.
All right, Riley Herbst, Saturday. We already talked that was a good thing, but I didn't want to end this without saying congratulations to Riley. Congratulations to Stuart Haas on their 1-2 finish. Phenomenal race.
Yeah.
You know, the Xfinity Series, week in and week out, puts on the best show. NASCAR's got their blinders on. They have no idea what they're doing, where they're going, or who they even are. They don't even know they have fans. I mean, I saw a thing today. It was showing how much the NFL makes or how much Major League Baseball makes on fan attendance, TV, things like that. I would like to see that graphic from NASCAR.
Right.
What doesn't matter to NASCAR is the fans and the product on the track. All that matters is their $1 billion TV package deal. You know, Landon Castle's out there saying that NASCAR is not forcing the teams to spend all this money. Well, you know, Landon, just stay in the back. Keep running in the back where you run at when you actually get to run. You know, he's trying to draw attention to a mediocre podcast, but whatever. I think it's a dangerous position to be in. When I tune into NASCAR, I want to watch the best. The best costs money. When you get cheap, you usually get crap.
Yep.
I don't want crap. That's kind of what I'm getting now. So I'm about tired of crap. I want to see NASCAR invest into the teams, invest into their own sport. You know, when I go to Atlanta Motor Speedway and I'm peeing in a 5-gallon bucket because the toilet's broke, that's a problem. You know, only a quarter of the tracks are nice. Most of these tracks are run down and look like garbage. Let's fix up the facilities. Let's fix the product on the track. Let's let our drivers be superstars, fly around in airplanes, larger than life. That's what these guys need to be to make it entertaining and exciting. Not Jim Bob running Friday night down at some hole-in-the-wall dirt track in middle of nowhere, Mississippi. That's not entertaining. That's not what I'm tuning in on Sunday to watch. I watch that on Flow Racing,
Right.
not on Sunday in NASCAR. So get it together, guys. That's all. My rant has went on now for like 20 minutes. So
Yep. That was a pretty solid rant.
my head hurts from ranting. I think I've given Jeff Gluck a run for his money on my ranting this week.
I think you did.
I think Jordan would be impressed.
It's pretty good. I'd give it a solid 9.
What I
been
miss? Anything else we got this week to cover before we close it out?
I don't think so. I mean, Xfinity race was great, and Cup race was terrible.
I didn't even watch the truck race.
No.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm not gonna. If they can't send the booth to the track, then I'm not going to spend my time watching it.
Right.
And I was busy Friday, so I didn't even tune in on the radio.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I missed it. Time Majesty, I believe, won.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him. So now, when we come back, so we got the Olympic break. Let's talk about that. We got 2 weeks off.
Thank goodness.
I think we're going to try to record something based on the Cars Tour race next week, because we race August 11th at Richmond is when we come back, and August 12th, that morning early, I'm flying out for my 20th anniversary with my wife. We're spending 2 weeks traveling around the Pacific Northwest, just hanging out, the two of us. I'm going to go do that and enjoy that. So if we don't record,
you're going to pull a Denny and get out of here.
Yeah. And if we don't do something, record something, then it's going to be like 5 weeks before we record again. So we're going to try to put something out next week and see how it goes. I mean, we're going to keep the podcast going. We're going to have to find another racing series to cover.
So this is like our test.
Yeah. So tune in next week. We're going to be talking about some flow racing. So you're not going to want to mix that. But next time you're going to see the Cup cars back on track will be at Richmond on August 11th. That is a Sunday night race, 6 p.m. It will be on USA and MRN. I'm probably going to listen to that one on MRN if I watch it at all. The track style is boring, if you didn't know. But maybe the option tire fixes the boring, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
The only way to fix it is to get rid of this car. And maybe the track. I don't know. I don't know. So that's all I got this week.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
So thanks to everybody who listens, watches, shares the show on social media. We greatly appreciate it. Make sure to follow us on X. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to the show on YouTube and check out all our other videos. Check us out on Spotify. Make sure to follow us and rate us there. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon did. When you leave us a review, it helps other people find the show, and that helps the show grow, and we greatly appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to the show on YouTube Music as well. If you feel the need to email us, you're more than welcome to email us. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure to check out Designs by Sydney and support her work. And if you're a Bills fan, go Bills. Y'all have a good week, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.